we all got nicknames. That's where Emu came from. Pat Dobson and Fritz Peterson were doing a crossword puzzle one day, and I walked by at 6'5", 180, and I suddenly became the Amazing Emu. And if they liked you, they tagged you with a nickname. If they didn't like you, they stayed away from you. And believe me, a season can be very long if you don't have any friends.
And I just want to point that out for our viewers on the video side, and also point out to our viewers on the podcast side listening. We now have a picture of Jim pitching and also an emu. I just, I'm having a problem figuring this out here, Jim. I'm not quite getting it. I mean, well, I mean, maybe the beard was the feathers, but I'm just trying to put the emu together here.
Look at the wing. Look at the wingspan. I'm well over 7 foot from tip to tip of my arms when I put them out. Look at the legs. And then it also helps a little bit when I was walking through the clubhouse going, "Rock!" and flapping my wings, So, this all kind of went together.
Well, I mean, that's another point too, because when you bring out the fact that it's a tiny things that made baseball so special. The nicknames. And I think there's a part of that there. You brought up so many little things here. It seems like the younger players all think they know everything when they walk in anymore. It seems like the older players don't give a shit about passing on anything to the younger players anymore. And nicknames are gone. I mean, it's almost as if somebody's afraid to knock a nickname on somebody because they're afraid, it's going to, and here's the thing, it's going to roll off on social media. Somebody's going to make fun of it. Somebody's going to think that it's insulting somewhere along the way. Because I can only imagine that if somebody nicknamed a ball player today Emu, they would say, well, how can you do that? Aren't you just insulting birds? It's mind-blowing where this goes anymore, Jim.
Well, it really is. And, back then, nobody got offended. I mean, when Fritz Peterson got on you, he could drill it to the bone. Pat Dobson probably had the strongest personality of anybody I've ever met. Boog Powell, I can remember in Cleveland in '75, Buddy Bell was a young kid, and Boog used to call him the blonde butterhead, Sesu Hayakawa. And Boog's locker was right next to the shower. And I remember one day, Buddy walked by going to the shower after the game, and Boog looked at him and just said, "Nice pooper, bud." But Buddy would not go in the shower while Boog was in the clubhouse for the next 6 weeks. I mean, it's just absolutely awesome. Buddy Bell, when I gave up a home run, you always think, they throw the ball. Well, I lose the ball in left center field. The umpire's rubbing it up. Buddy comes over as the guy's rounding the bases. The umpire won't give you the ball until the guy's crossed home, assuming you'll throw it at him or something. Well, everybody assumes the shortstop or the third baseman's coming over to give you words of wisdom. And Buddy would come over and look at me and say, "Emu, how'd you hold that one?" This is the type of sage advice you got.
But if you had to guess, I mean, it had to happen somewhere, Jim. I mean, you're talking about the Rangers and your career in the 70s and the 80s. And people didn't get upset. And people didn't get upset if you hit them with an insulting nickname. I mean, because, hey, come on, Rook. That's what happens. When you come into the sport, you're going to get nailed by some of the big guys here. And there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to go on the outside. There's the bar trips. There's the stupidity. There's the women. There's the dope. There's everything that went on in that time. Nobody gave it up. Nobody wanted to talk about it. Yeah, okay. So in today's society, they go, how could you do that? And a lot of it is going to insult people. But where did we lose that, Jim? I mean, where did that leave baseball? Was it just the money that did that? There had to be something more than that to where those great stories just disappeared.
Well, I think a lot of it's the money, and a lot of it's the social atmosphere that everybody gets a participation trophy. Nobody's better than anybody.
Mm.
I mean, you can't get in anybody's case because it might hurt their feelings. I spent 6 years in the Marine Corps. I'll tell you what, you want to get your feelings hurt, stand in an inspection line and let the gunnery sergeant come up and find a dirty rifle. I mean, they will invent words that'll stick with you forever. And you get to the point where it doesn't hurt your feelings. I mean, people hide dumb things they do these days. I don't care who it is. You're going to do some dumb and really silly stuff in your life. If you try to cover it up, you're going to have problems with it. If you laugh at it and move on, life's a whole lot easier.